Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:30 on Friday the 8th of May. Happy VE Day. On my way down to the land, cool and bright this morning. Lots that I want to get done, but not quite sure as always what I will get done, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's a beautiful morning, it's cool, sun is peeking up above the trees, but it's a very nice morning. Hoping we get lots done today. Might have a little bit of help later on. Plans to play with the gas boiler again this weekend, see if we can get that up and running. As always, be making a lot of it up as I go along, but it is a joy just to be down here. Everything appears to be pretty much as it was when I popped down just to water my plants in the middle of the week. I try to do that every second day or so on my way back from work now that all the plants are established. One thing that I did notice on Thursday, I think it was, no, Tuesday, we had a couple of fairly sharp frosts during the week. 2 days on the trot, I woke up and had to scrape ice off the car windscreen on the way to work. That has affected the potatoes. Don't know if you can see on there, there's a bit of frost damage on there. But we'll get the cabin opened up and I can run through that with you as I run through the Polytunnel. But for now, I'll get the cabin opened up and then you can get a little update on how the veggies are. Well, as always, first things first this morning, let's take a little peek. I know what's been going on because I've popped into water, but you don't. You'll remember I planted an extra couple of pots of peas, and look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 showing in that one and 2 more in that one. The original pea is going crazy, climbing up this this bamboo. Need to hook him round there. His little friend is growing well, and look, there's another little friend coming up. Carrots are doing very well. They're ready to go out into an outside bed. Hopefully we can sort those raised beds out at some point today. Tomatoes putting on quite a bit of growth now, and we've got, oh, there's another one there just coming up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got 12 now through. Cauliflower and broccoli, they really do need to go out into the raised beds. They're getting far too leggy, and I need a couple of more trays seeding off so that I've got succession planting. Cucumbers, very nice, second leaves, and in fact I think that one's just starting his third leaf. So they're ready to be moved to the final growing place. I can't remember if that's a pumpkin or a squash. It's pumpkin, that one. That's just a cutting of a tree I took, an elderberry tree. I'm just seeing how easy or not it is to propagate those. But the stars of the show are these pumpkin and butternut squash. Now, how much growth have they put on since last Sunday? When I was down here last Sunday, so we're only talking 5 days ago, there was nothing showing in those trays. If you don't believe me, rewind back, check out Sunday's video, there was nothing. And now the pumpkins, especially these, have just gone absolutely crazy. Unbelievable amount of growth in 5 days. That really is crazy. I really need to figure out what I'm going to do with those, because it's only a matter of another week or so and they'll be needing to be going into the final growing positions like the cucumber will. There's a couple of cunning plans as to what to do with those. Haven't quite decided. I might let you know later on today or tomorrow. I'll see how I get on with progress with the raised beds, but I might do something special with those in terms of planting out. We'll see. Anyway, I did water them on the way home from work yesterday, so they don't need doing this morning. Quick look out at the raised bed. You saw the potato, almost a disaster with those. I just threw a bit more soil on last night when I watered the plants. That's why they're looking a bit scruffy, but the leaves they have been nipped by the frost. So yeah, I just topped them up a little bit with compost. Same with this one. You can see again, same thing. But thankfully, it's not destroyed them. It's just had a little bit of a nip. But in terms of broccoli and cauliflower, it's not done anything. That frost has done nothing to those. They look just as they did before. In fact, something is already budding on that one. And that one. We've actually got buds starting to form. Flower buds, that is. So yeah, they're coming on really, really well. Anyway, enough chit chat. It is a gorgeous day and I've got lots on my mind that I'd like to get done, including these raised beds. You might notice I filled up one of those with compost. Did that on Tuesday, I think, on the way home from work. I took somebody's advice. Somebody left some advice in the comment section and told me to line the bottom. God, it's further down than I thought it was, with cardboard. So I don't know if you can see that or not. That's cardboard down there, as a way of stopping the weeds coming through and hopefully holding a bit of water in the bottom. Clearly I've got that other one to do yet, but the new netting has arrived, which is this. It's the same kind of mesh, but it's not quite as flimsy or springy as that green stuff. So yeah, progress with the raised beds hopefully today, amongst lots of other jobs, including solar and hopefully the gas boiler. Too many things. I guarantee you there's not enough hours in the day for all the stuff I want to do, but I'll keep you up to date with progress as we go along. First job of the day, and the plumber is under the sink doing what I couldn't do and tightening up the hot tap in preparation for this boiler install. So there might be a bit of swearing going on, but hopefully you'll see that having a test fire shortly. Same principle as before, just mounted that on a screw to the wall just to test it out. So we're just putting the cold feed in, hot feed out on the gas, and we'll give it a test fire. Right, so we test the theory, yeah. Pump on. Just heard the boiler ignite. Look at that, we've got steam. Wow. I don't know if you can see the steam, but it is steaming hot. So flick the pump off and it should, in theory, turn off, which it does. Bargain, we've got hot water, just needs plumbing into the system now properly. So now we know that the gas boiler works. It's going to be going under the sink. On on the little wall of the cabinet, and then I'll need a hole coming outside here for the this vent pipe to come out, and then I've got a little cover to go on the end of the pipe once it comes out this wall. So hole saw cutting time. Not the easiest of places to get into, but we want a little hole cut in where I've marked it out on that insulation at the back. So 102mm saw on the go. Well, that's the hole cut through, and that's the vent cover that will go over the outside. So on with the boiler install. Right, so back inside the cabinet. So the pipe now, the exhaust pipe for the boiler, just loose fitted through the wall, ready to go onto the top of the boiler. But before I do that, I've got a little bit of jigsaw work to do with this. That's the hot feed, so I need to pipe off that into the bottom of the boiler where the hot water feed comes out of the boiler. This is the cold water feed going to shower and kitchen sink. That's hot going to shower, kitchen sink. So for this I need a pipe off with another T. I need a feed into the pump from one end of the T, and then the cold water inlet valve on the bottom of the boiler. So a couple of bits of pipe to cut, fit some T's and some Jubilee clips, and we'll be ready to mount and final fix the boiler onto this cabinet wall. It's a little bit messy, pipes everywhere, but the gas feed is in now. So gas tank is outside through the wall, feed in, T off, one will go to the bottom of the boiler, the other one disappears off to feed the cooker hob. So just going to test mount the boiler, see how much pipe work we need for that hot and cold feed. It's all fun and games with the pipe work, trying to figure out where the pressure is making a leak. A lot of swearing involved. Quick test of the water. That's the boiler fired up. So we've got hot and cold out of the sink. And let's test the theory. Hot water out the shower. That is a bit too hot for me. So yeah, hot and cold in taps in the shower and in, turn those off, and on the sink, and off it goes. Flick the switch off. Well, that's been a bit of a long and fiddly job with so many joints, and with it being rubber hose. We've had to keep testing to find out where there were leaks in the system. That pump is quite actually a high pressure pump, so it will find the even the most slightly loose joint, which it did a couple of times, but it's in. All that remains is on that exhaust pipe is just to fit this cover on the outside, so I'm going to do that now. Well, that's the cover on. It just wedges itself inside the exhaust pipe, but I need something to attach it to the outside of the cabin, so I'm just going to pop a little tiny screw, I think, through there just to hold it in place, and it'll be good to go. Well, that's the grill in place. There wasn't enough room on the edge of this plastic cover to drill through into the wood, because clearly there's a hole with the hose behind there. So I've just mounted these little 4 retainers on with washers just to hold it in place, and it's certainly there, it's not going anywhere. You might also have noticed I've put the gas bottle outside. It's just a bit more of a safety thing really, rather than anything else. Could have gone under the kitchen cabinet, but if it's out here, it's a little bit safer. And also, of course, it leaves me space enough under the kitchen cabinet for other things. I have got a couple of other bottles, so at some point I'll bring those down so I can just switch from one to the other as and when I need to. Having done that fiddly job in the cabin, it's nice to get outside, a bit of fresh air. Beautiful warm day, but there is a nice little breeze just blowing through, which is helping to cool me down, so I'm just sat having a quick energy drink. Made the decision, we're going to crack on with those raised beds and get covers for those. So I've just pulled out a few lengths of wood from a little wood pile. These lats, battens, call them what you will. Same as I did on that first raised bed. 2 on the sides and 1 across the span of the middle. And I've got this different plastic material. It's a lot thicker than the last one. Don't know if you can see that or not. The holes are probably about the same actually, the actual square holes in the mesh, but this is sturdier, I think, and will do a better job. It won't need tying down, I hope, on the edges. I guess we'll find out in a minute once I start constructing it. But I'm going to knock that up, and as always I'll keep you updated with progress as I go along. But for now I just want to sit for 5 minutes and have this drink, because it is warm but very pleasant. Just quickly opened up the Polytunnel before I start work on these covers. It's absolutely roasting in there. If I'm not careful, I'll have cooked broccoli without the need for a cooker. It'll cook in its pot. These will need there's a bit of stray grass there, let's get that out. These will need a water at some point this morning. Can't believe how quickly these are coming along. It's very, very nice. Very nice to see. But I do need to get these broccoli and cauliflower out. They're starting to get a bit shabby now. And those carrots really ought to go out as well. So I need to get cracking with this cover for the second and third raised bed, and then I can put stuff outside. Hopefully those frosts that we had earlier in the week aren't going to come back and do any damage, but I guess we'll see. You probably can't see that on the video. You can see the wood, but I'm not sure you can see the plastic. This is extremely fiddly, trying to do this single-handed, making sure that everything's lined up correctly. I guess we'll find out when I drape it over the raised bed in a minute. Well, that's the second raised bed done. Almost exactly the same as the other one, except this mesh is a little bit of a tighter weave, and I'm not sure if it does lay more flat than the first one or not. Not as it matters, as long as it covers. That's the main thing. So that's the second one done. You wouldn't believe how fiddly that was. So on with the third. So there we go. There's 1, 2, and finally 3 raised beds. I've just popped a bit of cardboard in the bottom of that one. I'll be putting pots in there rather than filling it with soil. So hopefully that'll protect everything from the little critters, and will not have them eating my plants. Very warm today. Sun keeps popping behind the cloud, but when it's out it's absolutely red hot. Be ready for a sit down, certainly be ready for a shower later. I've just been giving the plants in the polytunnel a water, and some squash there in those big pots moved into them. That's the carrots seeds that I put in last week. It's going to take a couple of weeks for them to come through. Then we've got some big gaps where the carrots were. and also those seed trays with the broccoli and cauliflower. You'll see in a minute why. Well, now those raised beds are finished, we've took stuff outside. So that's the first bed. They've been in a week now and they've held up really well despite the 2 frosts that we had this last week. So I've watered those. Second bed, I've planted out what was in those trays left over from when I did the first raised bed. So again, we've got half of cauliflower, half of broccoli. It's going to be interesting to see how they stand up. I have watered them in and I'll be here again obviously tomorrow to do the same, but that's the first time that they've been out. Now it isn't forecast for frost until later on next week, but we'll see. You never know with the forecasts. And then the third raised bed, so I've actually put those carrots outside and a few of the broccoli and cauliflower that I had left over. I've just popped those into large pots and popped them in there. We'll see how they get on with that. But in theory, the carrots should be fine and they should be shooting up. And then I've got plenty of space left over for more pots as those other carrots come through and whatever else I might want in there. I can't believe the time, I really can't. It's, like I say, gone 3 o'clock and there's so much I wanted to do today. But that gas boiler and bit of plumbing took all the day. I'm going to have to start tidying up. That's all stuff that was in that raised bed. It's netting and chicken wire, I need to get rid of that. Also need to sort the wood pile out. And I also desperately need to sort out the disaster zone that is the cabin at the moment. Stuff's just thrown everywhere right now. Anyway, a few more bits and pieces to do. I am tempted to do one little job up at the driveway where the car is, so you'll see that in a bit. Well, I just couldn't resist taking the Strummer out for a test drive on that entranceway. It was starting to get a little bit overgrown and it was bugging me as I was driving in and out, so I just wanted doing. I'm now covered in grass, of course, which isn't good, but it's gone 4 now, so it's time to be packing up and getting off home anyway. So for sure this time I won't do anything extra. I'll leave that where it is and I'll get everything locked up, Polytunnel, cabin, wood away, and get myself off home for a shower and something to eat. Well, that's the cabin locked up, ready to go. Polytunnel's closed and the wood pile covered over. Not bad progress today, got my raised beds done. 1, 2, 3 of them all covered over, so we'll see how we get on with the critters during the week, and of course if we get any frost. I'm hoping we don't. I don't think they're particularly fragile, but they will be putting their energy into growing into the new soil rather than just sitting in a seed tray, so hopefully they don't get any frost. And that's another day done. I can't believe where the time goes, I really can't. The day just sprints by. But everything's looking nice. It is still a beautiful day, even though it's gone 4. It's been red hot today. But there's always tomorrow, so we'll see what we can get done another day. Coming back to the car to get off home, I just couldn't resist showing you the entrance driveway now that it's been trimmed down. Looking a million times better. As I said, it was bugging me a little bit these last few visits as I've driven in and out, so it's tidied down now. Anyway, that's it, another day done, but it's Saturday tomorrow, the real weekend begins, so hopefully we'll get a lot more done.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. How's it all looking? What about that hot water? Finally done, thank God. And how about the raised beds? How are they looking? Surprise, surprise with the pumpkins, or if you've grown them before, did you expect them to grow that quickly? It's my first time, so I have no idea. But you can always let me know in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.